Ever have that one friend who constantly bails on plans, always coming down with something, perpetually exhausted, promising maybe another time? Here's the truth. They're not dodging you. They're safeguarding their energy. If you choose cozy pajamas on a Friday evening over hitting the town, stick around. This is going to resonate deeply. Today, we're exploring what makes homebodies tick, the people mainstream culture labels as dull, but psychology reveals as something far more interesting. Let's break it down. Outgoing personalities refuel through human connection. They draw energy from activity, commotion, and social buzz. Meanwhile, those who crave solitude find solace in quiet. Every encounter with others, even enjoyable ones, gradually depletes their reserves. Home becomes their essential power source. Researchers describe this as the optimal arousal theory. Different people require varying levels of external input to feel balanced. This isn't about being unmotivated or scared. It's neurological wiring. Think about it this way. When an extroverted person spends a Saturday alone, they might feel restless, antsy, like something's missing. But when a homebody forces themselves through back-to-back social events, they experience what psychologists call social exhaustion, a very real form of mental fatigue that can take days to recover from. It's not a weakness, it's biology. But there's another layer beyond personality type. Many homebodies treasure their personal space because it offers certainty in an otherwise chaotic world. Outside, everything feels random. Unexpected encounters, abrupt plan changes, superficial conversations with disinterested strangers. Within their own walls, they orchestrate everything: ambiance, sound levels, atmosphere. For highly sensitive individuals or those managing anxiety, this isn't merely comfortable, it's essential. Psychologist Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive people reveals that roughly 20% of the population processes sensory information more deeply than others. For these individuals, a typical night out isn't just tiring, it's overwhelming. The fluorescent lights, overlapping conversations, unfamiliar smells, and constant movement create sensory overload. Home becomes a decompression chamber where their nervous system can finally settle. Here's a fascinating finding. Research indicates that solitude seekers often demonstrate enhanced creativity, deeper self-reflection, and superior analytical thinking. Time at home isn't wasted. It's where breakthrough thinking happens, not amid crowded venues, but in peaceful corners with reading material or during those contemplative late-night moments. Consider some of history's greatest minds. Isaac Newton developed his groundbreaking theories during isolated periods at his family estate. Emily Dickinson produced nearly 1,800 poems while rarely leaving her home. Bill Gates famously takes Think Weeks, where he retreats to a secluded cabin alone to read and generate ideas. Solitude isn't the enemy of productivity, it's often the catalyst. Modern neuroscience backs this up. When we're alone and unstimulated, our brain activates what's called the default mode network. This is when we daydream, reflect, make unexpected connections between ideas, and process our experiences. Constant social interaction keeps us in reactive mode, responding to external stimuli. Solitude allows us to shift into creative mode, where innovation actually happens. Let's address the elephant in the room. Our culture glorifies constant activity, the influencer lifestyle, the party documentation, the maximize every moment mentality. Social media has amplified this pressure exponentially. We're bombarded with images of people supposedly living their best lives at concerts, restaurants, and travel destinations. The message is clear. If you're not out there doing something shareable, you're wasting your life. But what if your ideal existence involves documentaries, comfort food, and zero social pressure? That's not depressing. That's knowing yourself. The Danish concept of hygge celebrates exactly this, finding joy in cozy, simple, intimate moments. The Scandinavian countries, which consistently rank among the happiest in the world, have cultural traditions built around appreciating home life, not abandoning it. There's also an economic angle rarely discussed. The pressure to constantly go out isn't just cultural, it's commercial. Entire industries profit from convincing you that happiness exists somewhere other than where you are. Restaurants, bars, entertainment venues, and travel companies, they all benefit from you believing that staying home is settling. But what if the real luxury is being content with what you already have? There's a serious side too. Some retreat homeward due to social phobias, unprocessed trauma, or depression whispering that nothing matters. For them, home shifts from sanctuary to prison. The key question: does staying in energize you, or does going out feel unbearable? One represents contentment, the other suggests avoidance. This distinction matters tremendously. Healthy solitude feels chosen and restorative. You stay home because it genuinely brings you peace. Unhealthy isolation feels compulsive and depleting. You stay home because facing the world triggers panic, shame, or despair. If you find yourself canceling plans because you dread the anxiety, not because you prefer your alternative, that might be worth exploring with a professional. The difference often shows up in how you feel afterward. Healthy homebodies finish their solo evening feeling recharged and satisfied. Those struggling with avoidance often feel relief mixed with guilt, loneliness, or self-criticism. One pattern builds you up, the other slowly tears you down. For genuine homebodies, though, they're not lacking anything. They simply operate differently. They discover happiness in modest pleasures, the morning beverage ritual, their designated relaxation spot, how afternoon light transforms their space, details others overlook while rushing around. Japanese culture has a term for this, komorebi, the sunlight filtering through leaves. It's about noticing and savoring small, beautiful moments that only reveal themselves when you slow down. Homebodies often develop rich, interior lives. They're the people who actually finish books instead of just buying them. They learn instruments, master cooking techniques, develop artistic skills, and maintain detailed journals. While others are accumulating experiences to photograph, homebodies are cultivating depth. They know their favorite music intimately, not just superficially. They've rewatched films enough times to catch details and meanings others miss. There's also the quality versus quantity principle. Homebodies typically maintain fewer relationships, but deeper ones. They're not collecting acquaintances. They're nurturing genuine connections. When they do socialize, it's intentional and meaningful, not obligatory and draining. Research shows that life satisfaction correlates more strongly with relationship quality than quantity. It's not about how many people you know, it's about how well you know them. Psychologists term this low stimulation preference. These individuals don't require external entertainment because their internal landscape provides sufficient richness. They're comfortable with their own thoughts, something that's becoming increasingly rare in our distraction-saturated world. When was the last time you sat in complete silence with no device, no input, just yourself? For many people, that's terrifying. For homebodies, it's Tuesday. This comfort with solitude might actually be a superpower in the modern world. As automation increases and traditional jobs evolve, the ability to work independently, think deeply, and create without constant external validation becomes more valuable. Homebodies have been training for this their entire lives, so if you decline invitations guilt-free, find genuine satisfaction in solo weekends, and prefer rewatching familiar content over creating new experiences, you're not defective. You're simply calibrated for substance over stimulation, tranquility over pretense. You've rejected the exhausting performance of constantly being on and chosen authenticity instead. The world needs both types of people. We need the connectors who bring people together and the thinkers who retreat to process ideas. We need the performers who energize crowds and the observers who notice what everyone else misses. There's no hierarchy here, just different operating systems. What's your take? Are you team homebody, or do you think this is all justification? And here's a deeper question. If you're a homebody, when did you stop apologizing for it? When did you realize that your preference wasn't a flaw to fix, but a trait to embrace? If you want psychological insights that most people never discover about themselves, the next video will impact you even more powerfully.